Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. I know y'all been missing me. I got a little sick, but I'm back. Yeah. So if you're new here, welcome to the little bestie gang. I haven't came up with a name for y'all yet, so I just call y'all my besties. So yeah, if you're new here, welcome. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend, period. Today's video is gonna be a story time video on how I got caught with my sneaky link. Let's get into it. I used to be an entertainer, so the dude that I was talking to at the time, we gonna call him James. I met James at the club that I used to work at. So that's how I met James in person. I first met him in my messenger. You know how people message you but you don't see it, or like you don't really know who they are, so you don't really say nothing. But he had already messaged trying to take me out on a date, but I didn't really feed into it, and I really didn't pay him no mind. So yeah, that's our first encounter was on Messenger. So yeah. So my first time actually seeing James was at my job at the time. And at the time I didn't know him, but my friend at the time did know him. So she was the one that kind of introduced me to him. And my James was like a little intimidating. He was hood. He was the hood type. He had his little chains and rings and stuff. And he was like kind of mean a little bit. Just a little intimidating. But my friend had really introduced me and James to each other. And our first time meeting each other, whatever, and I was just like, hey, like I didn't really know him, but he was like, real cool too. He was like, hey, what's up? Just let them talk, because I didn't know him at the time, but I had ended up getting in a conversation, and me and him had ended up starting to talk, and he was just cool, laid back. After that, James was trying to talk to me. Like after that day, I think he had DM'd me again, like trying to take me out, and I was really just like, no. I'm like, no, I don't really want to go out. I don't know, because the place that I actually met you, so I don't know. I really didn't really want to go out with him at first. I was like, nah, I was a little skeptical. But down the line, I ended up going out. We ended up going out to eat. And we just had a time. We just vibed. And we had a good time. We just sat down and ate. And after that, we had hung out more. But we didn't go on no more dates. He would come to my job and we would talk and just kind of chill. And then after work, we would kind of chill and talk or whatever. So yeah, we would just kind of vibe. So we kind of did that for a while, and we had decided that we were going to date. We were going to talk. So we had decided to talk. And my job was like, it was just seemed like females would be like so mad when he would come in and show me love or whatever. They would get kind of in their feelings or whatever about it, but whatever. I didn't care, because guess what, at the time it is what it is, whatever. But yeah, like we would just kind of chill and kick it. But most of the time I would really just spend time with him, and we would just hang out, and I'll go stay the night. He's like, like normal relationship stuff. The type of person that he was, like when I had, started being around him. Mind you, he was he just didn't know how to be no boyfriend. Like he didn't know, let me take her out on a date, let me get her flowers, that type of, he wasn't the romantic. And that's kind of sick what I wanted the romantic. We would just chill. And yeah, we were dating. We dated like off and on, but sometimes we'll get into it. You know how people get into it, they had their little breakups or whatever. Around one of our little breakup times, girl, we're gonna call her Leslie, like she had started like liking all my pictures on Facebook and little message like you cute, or commented on my stuff like you cute or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. At the time I never thought about talking to no girl, because baby, I ain't know nothing about them. To be honest with y'all. Yeah, so I didn't really think about talking to no girl, nothing like that. But she was a mutual friend of one of my family members, so they was telling me like, Lizzie like you should talk to her, da 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 da. And I was like, no, I don't get down like that. Plus I was already talking to James at the time, which me and James was real rocky. Like we would get into it real bad, because he ain't had time for me like that. My y'all James was a hood dude, so he ain't really have time like that anyway. But he barely had time for me, so we would get into it about that.
Family member was like, you know, Leslie likes you or whatever. She want to talk to you, and I was just like,
I don't know. I never talked to her. She was like, she
real nice, she real sweet. You should try something. Like,
nah, I'm just gonna, you know, see where it go with James. And by this time, I had got approved for my first apartment. James had made me mad. Like, he had went missing. I don't know what happened, but he had like slick went missing. I don't know if he started talking to somebody else, but he had really like went missing. So when he had went missing, I was like, well, let me see what Leslie's talking about. So me and Leslie had ended up talking. I mean, on myself, tell me good morning, and we would just kind of talk, because like Leslie had like a little situation going on that she was trying to come out of it too. So she really couldn't talk like that. I really couldn't talk like that because I was still debating on if I wanted to talk to James or not. We had just kind of clicked. We just started talking about stuff, and you know, it just kind of went from there. Leslie had asked me to take me on a little date or whatever, and I accepted. I let her take me on a date, and I had fun out with Leslie. She was like real romantic, real cool or whatever. We had just kind of started hanging out from there, and I guess like James could tell like I was, you know, switching up a little bit, but let me see your new place and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, cool. My guy at this time, like I was just moving in my new place, so I really ain't have I didn't have no couch, and I didn't have no dining room table, but everything else I had, like I had my bed, dressers, all that stuff. I just didn't have no couch or no living room table. So he was like,
I'll get your couch for you, you know, since I've been gone, and I understand, you know, how you've been feeling, so I'll get what you need. Just let me know what you need, and when I get to the store, just show me what you want, pick it out, and I'll get it for you. And I was like,
okay. Mind you, around this time I was still like kind of kicking it with Leslie. Like he was still like go missing around like certain times, and it was just really irritating. Like even though I had my new place and James wouldn't come over like that, we barely talk like that. He'll just hit me up out the blue and be like, I'm coming over, or he'll just pop up. So it was just like a little, I was just kind of slick over it. So I just really started, you know, kicking it with Leslie and her. We just hung out, we kind of clicked, and I started liking her a little bit. And I guess she thought she been here like me, because just like I told y'all, she been like me. One day Leslie was at my house. This was after I had got my furniture delivered that I picked out. James had ended up getting my furniture for me and having it delivered. So this was after my furniture was delivered to my house one night. And the next morning, James was parked outside where I stayed, but he was like in a spot where I couldn't see him. Like, you know how somebody pull up and they try to do like a little sneak attack, like let me see what she got going on. Like that's what he was on. And he was parked where I couldn't see him. So y'all, the morning come, he was out there. I think he had pulled up that morning. He was outside, y'all, and I was coming out the door with Leslie, y'all. So it was like 4 different entrances where I used to stay. He had came out one entrance. Mind y'all, all these entrances, you could like turn down the street and be on the main street. He had turned out the entrance. He was coming down the main street, and I was finna turn out to be on the main street. We met on the main street. Basically, if y'all get what I'm trying to say. Basically, we met on that street. Y'all, he was like, pull over. Pull over. He rolled down the window. He was like,
pull over. Pull over.
I'm like, what is going on? And I was already shook because I knew it was him, because I know his cars. We had been together so long that I had knew all his cars and stuff like that. So I had already knew that it was James. He like, pull over, pull over. So I pulled over, and I'm like, oh my God. We pull over at this little hotel, and he like,
what was that? And I'm like, what was what? He was like, who was that girl coming out your house? Like, what you on?
And I was like, I'm not on nothing. Like, we barely talk. You got your own stuff going on. You think I'm finna just wait on you?
Stop playing with me, Kay. Stop playing with me, because I'll put you in the trunk.
Y'all, I look. I'm like, is he for real? He like,
I'll put you in the trunk. Stop playing with me.
And y'all, I was just so shook, because why would you say that? Out of all things, I was like, oh my God. Like,
he really cared. He was like, I care about you. I feel you with you all the time or give you the time that you want. I really care about you. Why would you play with me like that? Da da da.
This and that and the other. At this point, I'm like, I gotta. I work security at this time, and I had to go to work. He had stopped me on my way to work. I was on my way to go do my job. I had a job to do, okay? And I had to be there on time. And he was holding me up. I'm like, I gotta go to work. You know, I gotta be at work at a certain time. I can't sit here and talk to you about this right now. And he was like,
okay, go to work. But when you get off work, I'm gonna be at the house waiting on you.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God. He is crazy. And y'all, my whole shift, he was calling. He was like, James was not playing with me, y'all. Like, after he saw that, it was like a whole nother side of him. Like, he just got real mad. But I don't know, in the beginning, it really ain't seemed like he cared. But honey, when he saw what he saw, he was like back pockets on jeans, honey. He was on me like that, like back pockets on jeans. So yeah, he was like, I was like, I'm finna go to work. So I left, and he left, and I ended up going to work or whatever. And like after I got off of work, he had ended up hitting me up, and he was like,
jewelry store, pull up to the jewelry store.
So I'm like, okay. And I pull up to the jewelry store or whatever. They're like picking out, you know, cause he the type to be blinged out and stuff. So he picking out his pieces or whatever he finna get. And whole time he whispering to the man like,
go get this ring. Go get it. He like, you know, telling him to go get a ring
or whatever. He didn't know I heard him, but I heard him. And so he like, I like that joint right there for her. And I'm just sitting there like letting him shop, minding my business. Yeah, why this man bought me a ring? Yeah. I get caught with my sneaky link and you buy me a ring? Okay. Yeah, he bought me a ring. And he like, I get back to his house or whatever, and he like, you know,
this your ring. This your married ring. You know, this just your married ring. This what I got for you.
That's how you propose? Did you just propose? Like, in my head, I'm slick shook, and I just took the ring and I put it on, and you know, it just really went from there. Like after a while, me and him ended up, you know, falling out or whatever. But yeah, you cheated on me with a bit, you know, but you cheated on me with a female. Like, what kind of mess is that? You know, he was in his feelings about it, but whatever. He got out of his feelings about it, but you know, we got over it. We ain't on no bad terms or nothing, but we just, you know, left each other alone. He do, whatever. And you know, that's the story time how I got caught with my sneaky link. I hope y'all enjoyed the story. The man told me he was gonna put me in the trunk, but yeah. So I hope y'all enjoyed this story. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, period. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Let's go.